Hello, everybody. Thank you for watching. It is the American Doofus Show. Don't be a doofus. What do you say, gang? It is 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and there's a battle going on for Ukraine. Battle going on for its capital, Kyiv. And you can probably hear in the background, as I have the volume up, with a live view of the downtown area of Kyiv. Once again, hello, everybody. If you're just joining us, it is the American Doofus Show, and don't be a doofus. I'm going to put this up to full screen and disappear. When that happens, I'm not on the chat, just so everybody knows. Again, thank you all for watching. Always greatly appreciated. And a lot to get into tonight. Basically, Kyiv, the capital of the Ukraine, is under attack from all four sides. Fighting going on in the streets. Fighting going on near the city zoo. Reports of bridges down. Reports of just so many different things. And we'll get to all of that. What I want to do here to start is let me hop off of this for just a second and say hello again. Hello, everybody. American Doofus Show. Don't be a doofus. Again, in the background, you're hearing shots sounding more in the distance. Right before I came on, the shots were fairly close. I do a lot of notes. I don't script it out, but there are things I want to make sure that are touched on, that I don't get on some tangent and ramble for a while about something and forget to talk about. So what I'm going to do to start tonight, before we get into what is actually going on the streets, I'm just going to do a recap, and I'm going to basically just go back from the beginning of my notes while we watch the center of Kyiv. I'm basically going to go back to there we go. I'm going to go back to the beginning of the notes and just recap what happened. Right now, as I said, it's currently 10:03 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
How are you? Can you hear me?
Wow. I was not anticipating that. DW, by the way, is a German-based broadcasting company, and this is their webcam, and it sounds like somebody's there monitoring it. I certainly was not anticipating that. Okay. Now the power has been cut. The thermal power station outside of Kyiv was attacked earlier, and the power was cut. I'm assuming what we're seeing here in the center of town is run off of generators and is emergency power, because Kyiv is a massively big city, and normally in the back you would see lots and lots of light for a long distance. And currently it's black, with the exception of the occasional car light, which there is a curfew on. So you would assume that is either someone that is marking a target with the headlights of the car for potential overhead disbursement of ordnance, or a government official or law enforcement official. I'm talking about right here. These car lights just came on, and you just happened to notice them. Again, thank you for watching. those of you that are watching, I appreciate everybody who watches live. The majority of people watch on the replay, and I thank all of you. If you want to reach me, email americandufus@gmail.com. You want to help support the show, which is always welcome. It's $ American Doofus, all one word, AMERICANDUFUS at Cashapp, or you can contact me about donating through PayPal or other means. Do that through the Gmail. Okay. 2 nights ago, at approximately this time, we learned that Russia had invaded Ukraine. The attack had begun. The unthinkable had become reality. And here we are, a mere 48 hours later. So I just want to kind of recap this past week. Just over a week ago, Russia was saying that they were removing all of their troops, and they wanted a summit, and they wanted the prime minister or the foreign ministers of each country between the United States and Russia to meet and plan how the summit would go between Putin and Biden. Then Putin gave a speech basically saying he was going to reconstitute the Russian Empire. Troops had already crossed the recognized Ukrainian border under the guises of peacekeepers. The response from Western countries was talk and the threat of sanctions. United States moved its embassy staff out. President Zelensky spoke and gave an incredible speech. He's going to be a hero of the world when this is all said and done. And that is regardless of, and I hope he does survive, but regardless. And I'm sure as we venture through the rest of this show, we're going to see samples of that, because I'm going to hop on my Twitter. I haven't been on there. So we're going to look at it together. Anyway, the UN Council met. Biden gave his speech. Ukraine called up the reservists. Russians were burning documents at all their embassies, and all their diplomats were ordered back to Russia. These are things that we've shown in episodes leading up to tonight. Japan tells citizens to leave Ukraine. We watched a lot of suspicious behavior on Flight Tracker. Troops move in from all sides, in from Belarus, guided missiles, mortars, rockets, attacks. Belarus and Russian troops were coming in together from the north. The question had come up, is this World War III? My response, only if America military gets involved. And if NATO gets involved, the American military is involved. Started the necessary conversation of not only nuclear weapons, but nuclear power plants. The ruble and the Russian stock market fell. China justified the action as a legitimate security concern and of the right of historical property. Moscow detains anti-war protesters, and then that gets us to today. Yesterday, 18 to 60, late yesterday, 18 to 60. If you're a male between those age ranges, 18 to 60, you could not leave the country. The president of Ukraine announced that he was target number 1 and his family's target number 2. a missile hit near Chernobyl, which brought radiation dust into the air called a radiation spike. I paused there because I couldn't read my own handwriting. Ukraine blows up a dam and a bridge in order to slow the advance. And that takes us up to where we are today, where we are right now. I'm going to keep that up in the background, and we will refer back to that when I come to talk. Thank you, Toby and Kelly. First Sergeant Doby, Pat Tolliver. Thank you all for watching. Those of you out there watching and those in the comments, thank you very much. Always greatly appreciated. And yeah, we're keeping track and monitoring a lot of things. We are putting in the work, and I am going to, I've got to find, there it is. I'm going to mute. Have I got this on two sites? I do. Okay. One of the Kyiv's cameras was down, but it was still picking up the shelling. So what we're going to do, where we're going to start is right here with a look at this. I mentioned earlier the Ukraine president, and that he's going to be a hero to many in the world when this is over, no matter how it plays out. Here he is. You can tell he is weary. You can see it on his face. He's dressed in military tee and military fleece, and I can't help it, but he reminds me of the dude from Rascal Flatts, American country music band, for those that are watching overseas. And namaste, shalom, salam to everyone watching. I've got a few people watch around the world in various countries, and I'm grateful. I'm grateful for everybody that watches. Let's hear what President Zelensky has to say.
Сьогодні був тяжкий, але сміливий день. Ми боремося за свою державу абсолютно на всіх фронтах. На півдні, сході, півночі, у багатьох містах нашої прекрасної країни. Боремося цілодобово і на дипломатичному фронті. Маю сказати абсолютно відверто, ця ніч буде більш тяжкою, ніж день. Під ударом багато міст нашої держави. Чернігів, Суми, Харків, наші хлопці, наші дівчата на Донбасі, міста півдня України, особлива увага Києву. Не можна втратити столицю. На усіх фронтах цієї ночі ворог застосує усі наявні у них сили, щоб зламати наш опір. Підло, жорстко і не по-людськи. Цієї ночі вони підуть на штурм. Всі ми маємо розуміти, що нас чекає. Цієї ночі маємо вистояти. Доля України вирішується саме зараз. Просто немає і не може бути такої правди, яка б могла би пояснити, чому обстрілюють з реактивної артилерії дитячі садочки та житлову інфраструктуру. У Ворзелі Київської області били градами. Били градами по дитячому будинку. По Охтирці, Сумська область, били ураганами. Під обстрілом були житлові квартали, укриття, дитячі садочки. Що це за війна проти українських дітей в дитячому садку? Хто вони? Вони теж неонацисти з дитячого садочку. Або це солдати НАТО, які загрожували Росії.
That was from The Sun, a British newspaper. So let's hop over here for just a second so we can familiarize ourselves with where we're at. geographically real quick. Poland right here. There's Warsaw, Slovakia, Hungary, Romania, Moldavia, and Ukraine. Within Ukraine, here is Kyiv. Here's Kharkiv. Here's Dnipro. Here's Mariupol, and trying to remember. Here is Chernihiv, Chernihiv, the city he was mentioning, and Sumy, the city right here. So these are the areas. These are the areas he mentioned. These 4 areas that we're getting heavy action. Kiev center, the center of town, under attack from all 4 sides. If you're just joining us, so this is Cyprus, and just off of Cyprus is a little tiny island right back in here, and that island. Okay. That island is called Snake Island, and we're going to hear about that. Earlier, I had said that NATO was going to be activating a response, and NATO's never activated a response. So I'm going to take you just real briefly here to be honest with you, I've got to run to the bathroom. So I'm going to put the mic on mute and the camera on mute, run to the bathroom, and be back in like 2 minutes while this report rolls.
And Tom is a national security analyst and former White House Homeland Security advisor. Tom, thanks for being with us. It's always good to discuss this with you. What do you make of NATO activating its response force for the first time in history? What exactly does that deterrence and defense mean in this particular role?
I think it's an incredibly wise move. I'd have recommended it. In fact, I'm not surprised by it at all. What we're seeing now is Putin in a completely unpredictable use of force right on all of their borders. So at this stage, it's only almost obvious that NATO activate this force. There's so much room for miscalculation here. In a lot of ways, Putin has let the genie out of the bottle. We can have Russian jets incurring, flying into other airspace, NATO airspace, Turkish airspace, Polish airspace, drawing fire and leading this thing into directions that we can't control. His military will take actions even without his permission if that happens, and it could spiral. So NATO has an obligation here to, kind of circle the wagons.
Yeah, and Tom, we heard today from the Czech Republic that the Czech Republic and Poland restricting airspace to Russian carriers. The Russians do not have superiority over Ukraine. Ukrainian air defenses are still working. How significant is that for this fight against the Russians?
It's significant for, I guess, 2 reasons. One, it's a bit surprising that they haven't yet carried that out. It's usually the first step or one of the early steps in the Russian playbook. But really, I think in any military playbook, or at least that's what most of the generals have been saying, we've seen this play out in the past. There's this acronym in Russian military planning called SOD-SIT, where they go after strategically damaging all of the enemy's critical infrastructure targets. It's pretty standard in their military planning playbook. So I suspect if they really want to, they will do it. I think it reveals, though, at least to me, that Putin does not have a clear military objective. At least it's not clear to any of the observers that I talk to. We don't know what he wants to achieve or whether he has the force adequate to achieve it and sustain it. If he really wants to take on...
I'll get back to that in just a second. I want to answer his question. He doesn't know what Putin is trying to achieve in Ukraine. What he's trying to achieve is drawing the United States into a war.
Maintaining control over Ukraine, given what we've seen in the defiant eyes of the Ukrainian people, he better have more forces ready to stay there longer. And I think he's going to decide whether he wants that objective. If he does make that decision, they'll take out their.
He's exactly right on that, in that Russia does not have the necessary force for a long and complete occupation of Ukraine, and that's not his purpose. If he's not trying to draw the United States in, he wants at minimum to cut here. Okay, to cut. I think it's probably going to be cut here. I've said that from the start. Kharkiv to Odessa, so that he has all the Black Sea, and basically Ukraine would be what remains of Ukraine would be landlocked, and he might try, since Kyiv is such a focus, he might try to cut here. Basically cut it in half. Again, I said this the other night. We could be looking at Kyiv as a western and eastern divided city, one under the rule of a dictator, and the other probably leaning west, even more hard than ever. And it's a scary situation. Let me get back to NATO, or get back to ABC, and I'll keep commenting on this report. Just wanted to show the map there.
Defense systems pretty quickly.
Tom, White House Press Secretary Jen Psaki said that NATO members would need to discuss whether a cyber attack against a NATO ally would then trigger that Article 5 response from the alliance. Talk about that for a second. What might that response look like?
Yeah, this has been brewing for a very long time. In fact, one of the NATO members, Estonia, many people will remember, they were attacked, a cyber attack that devastated their economy and their government systems by Russia. And they're a NATO member, and they asked NATO to consider that an act of war that would trigger the collective defense obligation under Article 5. And in fact, NATO chose not to take that action as a justification to attack further Russia. That's been a pending debate ever since. I think context here matters. So if that cyber attack causes physical harm, loss of life, and if it's done with the backdrop of this threatening buildup of military forces, missile, if it kills people and destroys your territory or your possessions, that's grounds for defending yourself, and it's grounds for a collective defense.
President Biden spoke with Ukrainian President Zelensky again today, and after that conversation, Zelensky tweeted that they discussed strengthening sanctions, concrete defense, assistance, and an anti-war coalition. What does he mean by that, and what role could U.S. forces play in that kind of coalition?
Well, I can see a lot of U.S. force deployment to take up the backfill roles of other European forces if the Europeans start to send direct military aid into Ukraine. I think the president's been pretty clear, and at this point, even if he changed his mind, I don't know if he's got the domestic support for sending American forces directly into Ukraine. I think that what he discussed, though, on these sanctions being strong enough or weak enough is a really unfortunate sign of the stress that the Ukrainian people are under. I don't think any additional sanctions will have the immediate effect that President Zelensky is seeking. Although I don't blame him for asking, we should pretty much try anything at this stage. I think instead, most of these sanctions are designed to punish Russia and to attack their operating budget so that they can't sustain this for a long period of time. That's not very satisfying to people who are in harm's way, watching their neighbors being killed. But it's not a direct defensive tool, and I think Zelensky is trying to apply it in that way.
And Tom, you're talking about the stress that Ukrainians are under. The UN says hundreds of thousands of Ukrainians are on the move through the country, whether it's from the Donbas region all the way over to where I am in Poland because of this Russian invasion. They're talking about tens of thousands of them have already crossed into other countries. How is this, what is obviously going to turn into some sort of refugee crisis? How is that going to affect Europe and the US?
It's going to strain everyone's ability to take care of their fellow man. We're going to see European countries having to accept a large diaspora of fleeing Ukrainians. All of us want to. American and European hearts are often larger than our bread baskets. So I'm not afraid of the willingness of the European host countries or American host countries, but there will be an adjustment period there where you handle large inflows of people. You have to find housing and food sources adequate to take care of their needs. And remember, this is all happening in winter for a reason. I think you're seeing a lot of European hesitancy to turn on certain sanctions and address the SWIFT issue because, like it or not, they are dependent on Russian heating, oil, and gas. And so you don't want to freeze people to death. You want to make sure that there's a flow of energy source, and you want to make sure that these refugees have a place where they can find shelter and protection from the shelling. So I think that we'll see a generous community, a generous global response, and some pretty significant suffering in the interim.
Okay, that was one. That was the main report I wanted to share as far as things I had up and planned. So I'm going to take a quick pause here from content and make sure I say hello to everybody. Hello, Diane McLean, Kelvin Black. Hello, C. Hello to everybody out there watching online live. Greatly appreciated. We are just on YouTube. We're not on Facebook. We're not on Twitter. This is strictly live on YouTube. I tried to do that earlier with I Am Family. Thank you for watching. Or I Am Created. I'm sorry. I saw Blessings Family and put them both together. I want to take us to, again, thank you all for watching. It's the American Doofus Show. Don't be a doofus. We're recapping what is going on and has been going on in Ukraine. We're going to go to Flight Tracker. And here's Forte 11. Forte 11 is an American, it's a United States U.S. Air Force drone. I'll give you here we go. So you can get a look at the exact, it's a Northrop Grumman RQ-4B Global Hawk. You can see it started down here in Cyprus. That's a home base for the drones. And this is its approach, and circled here briefly, and then has been going back and forth around the northern, around the southern part of the Black Sea. This is where the Russian Navy is, right here, along these two lines. I'm kind of trying to show you with the cursor. This is Crimea, annexed. It's part of Ukraine, but it's occupied by Russia, annexed by Russia illegally in the 2014 incursion that I've talked about several times on here. So this is Forte 11, our drone, our being United States. And I brought this up because in the last report we saw, they were talking about Poland, and Poland had restricted its airspace, as had Chechnya right here, or Chechnya. So what that basically means is you see an incredible number of planes flying all the way around here that have to avoid the no-fly zones here, and cannot fly directly across from Belarus to Poland to where they want to go. So now they've got to fly all the way around. Small price to pay if you need to get where you need to get, but nonetheless, it's going to be aggravating to a number of people on those flights. These are the planes I was looking at earlier. This is a U.S. Air Force right here. This is right here over Poland. Can I come in a little bit? And it's basically circling, and I imagine surveilling this portion of Ukraine for troop movements. It is currently it's at 25,000 feet and flying at 344 knots. Okay. And then we have okay, that's a commercial flight. Here we go. This is the one I was looking for. We have another United States Air Force plane. Similar plane. Just as this one up here circling there, this one is circling here. Just off the border of they're protecting the borders of Poland, and down here Romania is my best guess. Surveilling this portion of Ukraine and making their presence felt on the border here. Just probably they got their transponders on, so they want everybody to know where they're at, including the Russians. 25,000 feet, 334 knots. It's basically mirroring the plane, the other American plane up here. And then the Forte 1 or Forte 11 is right there. And that gives you an idea of the flight path that Forte 11 has been taking. And so that's all we have in the way of knowledge of what's going on with American planes at the moment, as well as Forte 11, the drone that we have oftentimes referenced. I was just doing a quick look to see if anything. Okay, I'm going to pop back over into the chat for just 1 minute and say hello to everybody. Then we will get to where we are at now. Again, I am created. Thank you for watching. Shemwashan, Sissy. Hello to everybody. Hello to everybody out there watching. Those of you that are watching on the replay, I don't always have a chance to get into the comment section on the normal replay, the normal comments. So if you want to reach out to me, you can do so through Gmail at americandufus, all one word, at gmail.com. Go ahead and leave a comment if you're watching on the replay. It doesn't mean I won't see it. It's just things get kind of hectic at times. But thank you for watching. Hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell so you know when we're on. And please do hit that like button if you are appreciative of what we're trying to do here. And of course, donations are always greatly appreciated and much needed. But I don't want huge donors. Okay. Remember, I was in politics. And the problem with big donors is big donors want control. So I like the $2 to $20 donations. Not that I'm against $100 donation. I'm not. To be real honest with you, while I'm talking about all this stuff, I'm semi-retired. Okay, I cannot make a lot of money, or I lose all my benefits, including my health insurance. So I'm not doing this to make a lot of money. I do need to make a certain amount of money in order to keep doing what I'm doing. So when I ask for, if you want to help the show, that's why. I need to make about $1,000 a month in order to just survive and keep doing what I'm doing through this show and through book sales. So that's straight up. All right. That's just heads up, the truth, 100, keeping it real, however you want to say it. And I'm not going to talk about that anymore. I wasn't intending to talk about it at all, but I just wanted to get it out there because there are a lot of people think I'm a scammer and a race baiter, and they call me all kinds of stuff. But if they weren't doing that, if they weren't doing that, I wouldn't be doing my job. All right, let's go to pop up on my Twitter here and just see what's. Oh God. I was not anticipating. I shouldn't have brought us. I should have checked this first before I brought us here. I wasn't expecting this to be my top tweet. I showed this earlier because it was covered. I didn't realize that this was the case. The fact that the body has been in the same spot for 24 plus hours, that would be, this was 2 hours ago. So 24 plus hours is sad and just illustrates how little Putin cares for his own people. This is not about Ukraine, and this is not about Russian soldiers. This is about Putin. And we've talked about that a lot, and we'll talk about that more, I'm sure. This amazing Ukrainian soldier blows himself up to destroy a bridge. Yeah, we mentioned this earlier. I didn't have a picture of the man that did it. Man, this is going to be a heavy Twitter. Okay. Whether he lives or whatever he dies, I'm sure he meant whether he lives or wherever he dies. Whether he lives or dies, Zelensky should go down in history as one of the greatest leaders and bravest men to have lived. When you attack us, you will see our faces, not our backs. The Ukrainian president. Okay, I'm not going to get into Trump. Let's see what this is. Okay, this is in Kyiv, in the city of Kyiv. I pronounced it Kiev for so long, it's hard to get in the habit of saying Kyiv. Let me go back to the start here. Okay. All right. Again, we're kind of watching this together. So this is kind of one of those reaction things where we're both seeing it for the first time. Whoa. Did I turn the volume off? I did. Okay. All right. It's only 17 seconds long. We'll watch it again here with the volume up. Again, this is in the city itself, the capital city, near a metro station, and that was from 2 hours ago. In his word, this is the president out inspecting what's going on. This is amazing, honestly. This is not, this is not what you normally see leaders of countries behaving in this way. And you've got to respect this man for what he's trying to do for his country and for his people. Sweden, Finland, and Ukraine must be let into NATO immediately. Putin will not stop with Ukraine. Fascism will continue until it kills everyone. You will not be spared. Oh my gosh. A baby was born 2 hours ago in a Kyiv metro. They're all down there as a bomb shelter, and a pregnant woman gave birth. Oh my gosh. Life finds a way. More shelling reported near power plant in northern Kyiv. Russians are trying to attack a thermal power station in Kyiv's northern left bank area. The Ukrainian military is repelling the attack. That was 2 hours ago. I'm not sure what this is. We'll take a quick look here. My gosh. Let's be honest, there are some areas in the United States that in cities hear this occasionally. Once in a while in your neighborhood, you'll hear people exchanging gunshots. Most of the country, most of the United States could not imagine hearing automatic weapon fire and possible explosions within blocks of your home. That one set off car alarms. Incredible. It's the American Doofus Show. Don't be a doofus. This is news done differently. We're covering Ukraine, Russia. A lot of praise. A lot of praise for President Zelensky. Again, every time I see him, I think of the lead singer of, gosh, and I forgot the name of the band again. Oh, well. Yeah, this is what I was talking about, Snake Island. I showed the video of this earlier in the earlier episode. 13 brave Ukrainian soldiers told a Russian warship to go fuck themselves and died for it. Here in the States, we have people crying about wearing a mask. Something to think about, not how to think or what to think, just something to think about. Russian man definitely showing his support for Ukraine. I'm guessing he's doing that in New York City, just from looking at, or London possibly. Okay. Okay. Someone brought the rabbit to the bomb shelter. A Russian helicopter has just been downed by Ukrainian air defenses. That was 3 hours ago. Reports coming out of Ukraine of a soldier being nicknamed as the Ukrainian Reaper. And he's apparently very good at his job. He's killed over 20 Russian soldiers on his own. Here's the meme of what will become the 13 heroes of Snake Island. Apparently, thousands of Romanians have been waiting in their personal vehicles to pick up refugees at one of the northeast borders with Ukraine. I love this humanity. I love this. People being human, humankind, showing their humanity and their kindness. Oh my gosh, Unserved Their Future. Yaryan and Svetoslav rushed their wedding and got married to the sounds of sirens blaring with the Russian invasion. After the wedding, they both joined the local territorial defense center. That's civilians picking up guns to help efforts to defend the country. Is that right? Is it good? Wow. A massive rally today in Tbilisi in the country of Georgia to support Ukraine. That's because Georgia would be one of the next ones to be rolled if Putin is successful. I don't know if it's propaganda. I don't know if it's, you have to kind of speculate and also keep in mind that it is war and not everything you get is going to be true. it seems Putin and Russia are having a harder time than many people, including myself, thought would happen. And it hasn't been that long. But I said within 48 hours, Ukraine would be done, and they aren't. Now, I also said Putin will use a nuclear warhead on Kyiv if he can't take it. And I hope I'm wrong on that. But the more the longer it goes, I think the more frustrated he's going to get. So I'm going to go to my Twitter homepage here real quick. Thank you all for watching. And come on. I don't know why it took me down halfway down the bottom. Let's see what's new. Okay, let me see if I can get a translation on this. Okay. So pretty much what we're saying, this isn't, in my analysis, this is not about Ukraine. This is about trying to draw the United States into a two-front war with China attacking Taiwan within the next 7 days. Okay. In other news, Tears for Fears is putting out new music for the first time in 20 years. Okay. Let's take a look at this. This is from 4 minutes ago. This is a different view of Kyiv, I believe, than what I had. I don't hear any gunfire at the moment. Let's jump back over real quick to the camera I've got up. We'll get back. Pop in here and say hello, everybody. Thank you all for watching. It is the American Doofus Show. Don't be a doofus. I'm your host, Barry Welsh. We are currently live, and we're monitoring what's going on in Kyiv, the center of Kyiv, the capital of Ukraine. Ranana of Israel, thank you. Ma, thank you very much. That is greatly appreciated. And thank you everybody for watching. Prisoners are always overlooked and treated as if they are expendable. That's a great question. I haven't heard any talk. In all honesty, I haven't heard anybody even mention that. First Sergeant, apologies. That's a great question. My concern was, I heard it was that they were fighting at the zoo, and my concern was, the animals. Make sure they don't launch anything or shoot towards where there are going to be any defenseless animals. The problem with urban warfare, the problem with any warfare is it's no win. But urban warfare, you got to consider there are hospitals in this city. There are hospitals now without power. What's going on in those hospitals? I imagine the rules of triage and the rules of what is an emergency have drastically changed as there's fighting going on in this city, in the streets of this city. It's just, I don't know. I wrote a paper in high school predicting we would be too civilized to engage in warfare in this matter. Diane McClain, that paper should have been prophetic. We should be too civilized to engage in warfare in this manner. It was, it was unthinkable. Again, Chris and I talked about this about 6 weeks ago, and people were hammering us at even the thought that this could actually possibly happen. The people in Ukraine didn't think this could possibly happen up until the very day it happened. It started to sink in about 6 hours before it actually happened that, damn, they're coming. And we should be too civilized for this to happen. And yet I see this as Putin getting frustrated, and the whole area, I keep putting my hands up like I can show you, like I got a telestrator or something. This whole area just lit up with explosives. And we should be too civilized for that. I'm not hearing anything on this at the moment. So, again, thank you all for watching. I'm going to pop back over and go back through and see what we've got going on here. We're new Twitter coming in. And again, I've got some writer friends. I've got other friends on. This is my personal Twitter. So 13 minutes ago, overnight, none of the major cities were captured by the invaders. Still street fights going on. No one will give up their home for nothing. This is from Next to TV. Next to TV is, there, I'll just show you since it pops down. The largest Eastern European media. And they're flying the colors of blue and yellow tonight. So supporting Ukraine. This is some good information. Thank you to whoever shared this. Michael Kaufman. Thank you, Michael Kaufman, 14 minutes ago. Current connectivity issues. Map shows number of ICT connectivity anomalies, degraded internet in last 10 hours for the given district. So, internet problems here. What's up here? Kyiv. Lots and lots of 100% anomalies. So this is everything wiped out, all communications, and all across Ukraine. You can see spotty. And then in the blue, no anomalies at all. So very interesting. Ukraine, this is from Newsweek. Ukraine, Russia live updates. That would be Schumer. It would be United States Senator Chuck Schumer. I got a story about him sometime. Says sanctions will. I got stories about a lot of people, to be honest with you. Schumer says sanctions will make Russia weaker and weaker. Kyiv under siege from cruise or ballistic missiles. Rob Lee says Rob Lee's a military analyst, PhD student in war studies. Russia's plan clearly is to reach Kyiv as quickly as possible and force Zelensky to surrender. I don't think that's necessarily clearly his plan. I've been saying all along, I don't think it matters. This isn't about Ukraine. If Russia can't take Kyiv quickly, or if Zelensky refuses and resistance continues across Ukraine, Russia's costs and problems multiply. That I totally agree with. I didn't think it would go as long as it has, and that honestly splits me down the middle, because it gives me hope, but yet I know, I just know that Putin is going to get frustrated, and he's going to escalate, and eventually he's going to use on and call it a limited use of nuclear force, and the rest of the world's going to shake in their boots, and I don't know if anybody will do anything. If we don't, he rolls. I'm hoping that the United States gets involved. If they get involved, they get involved conventionally. If that has to be done, let it be done quickly, in order to save as much of Ukraine as possible. So there you go. That's where I stand on all of this. I don't want, I would love for, I talked about this earlier in the afternoon update. The voice of reason came through a tweet that I was able to see from the Taliban, who were basically saying, stop all this fighting and end it, go back to diplomacy. Crazy. I do want to check. Media reports President Zelensky is personally in charge of the defense of Kyiv. He is in the capital and is not going to leave. This was from 16 minutes ago. Okay, this is 18 minutes ago from the Washington Post. Of course, the Washington Post, in all honesty, had a picture up earlier showing gas prices as $6.38 a gallon in the United States, and it's nowhere near that, or at least not anywhere around here or anywhere I've heard of. Now it's probably $3.50, probably $3.50, something like that. Ukrainians resist Russian onslaught as tanks and planes dig deeper toward Kyiv. A look at some of the devastation. Incredible. We should be past this. We should be more civilized. Okay. Okay, we've seen that. 24 minutes. British Airways cancels flights after IT failure. Says it was not a cyber attack. Okay. Occupants have seized the Kyiv highway in the Sumy region. Let's jump back over to maps real quick, just to show you. Sumy region is up here, directly east of Kyiv. Occupants have seized. Occupants is Russians seized the highway. They're not allowing civilians to exit the road. Okay, we showed you that map of outages. If Ukrainians are losing the web, it's very bad. Continued connectivity has been deliberate on Moscow's part so Ukrainians could witness Russia's crushing superiority. If comms are dying now, it seems Russia doesn't want the public to see what's coming next. How old was that? Oh, 31 minutes ago. Okay, I was hoping that was older, honestly. Okay, 32 minutes ago. This is the view I watch. I have up for us to watch when we click over to it. DW. It's a German. There are a number of webcams up that you can find. There's one from China. I go to it at the very last resort, but this one is from Germany, and apparently, maybe I had just missed, or maybe. It's okay, baby girl. Those gunshots are on TV. Come on, lay down. Come on. Hey, come on. I'm recording. Oakley. Get up there and lay down. Come on. Again, we are looking at the center of Kyiv. Yeah, that's louder and seemingly closer. This is probably as loud and as close as I've heard the shots. I've always heard them in the distance, to be honest with you. I heard some loud explosions, but okay. Yeah. 30 minutes ago, 5:33 Kyiv, internet connection, electricity still on. We were asked not to leave our places. Fights are on the streets. It's the third night of invasion. We'll try to sleep till dawn. Thanks for your support. Now, 28 minutes ago, Michael Kaufman seen proliferating claims of internet connectivity lost in Ukraine, but seems to be confined to the cities of Kharkiv or parts of cities. Would be good to hear confirmation from those tracking the problem. And we just saw a tweet about how connectivity had been affected. That's 21 hours ago. Again, we talked about this a lot. A V or an O and occasionally Z, probably marking them for fellow Russian tanks. I am guessing. There's a piece of equipment back here. They're asking what is on the rear hull. Okay. Can I make that any bigger? I guess I can't. Well, there we go. It's about as big as I can make it. Well, at first I thought those were ammo boxes on the bottom, but I don't think they are because there's look like possibly either microphones or pulse generators. I'm not sure. Okay. Uh, 5 hours ago. Emily Williamson's. Okay, never mind. Three hours ago, Russian saboteurs dressed in uniform of the national police shot Ukrainian soldiers at a checkpoint. Immediately after that, a group of Russian military in a truck came in. There's heavy fighting going on. And that was in Vasilikov. I'm going to go. Was that crow on this? It had to be. This is the only thing. I hope someone else heard that and that wasn't just in my head. But I definitely thought I heard a crow. President of Ukraine is an example of what a real, okay. In the bomb shelter with my cat. She's been very brave. Wow. That's, by the way, that's Nolan Peterson. That's one of the reporters that we get our information from. After initial failed attempts, Russia has not given up trying to seize an airstrip near Kyiv. This is 4 hours ago. One Russian plane shot down, another one landed. Heavy fighting. It's a IL-76. That's I think that's about 150 person transport. Okay. Ukrainian Air Force chief says they've shot down a Russian IL-76 transport. Only reason I knew IL-76 Russia because I do the flight tracker thing a lot, and I looked up what it was. I thought it was a transport plane. Paratroopers on board. Biden administration reportedly prepared to provide $6 billion in military and humanitarian assistance to Ukraine, though they fear it may be too late. I've got some new tweets here. This was 6 hours ago. Okay, let me go back. Let me go up to the top. 28 seconds ago, the 101st Brigade destroyed a convoy of 2 cars, 2 trucks, and a tank in Kyiv. Everything is quiet. Everyone was liquidated. Report the Armed Forces of Ukraine on Facebook. Hey, Dan Duckage. Chris Hayes is MSNBC. Heavy fighting in many areas of Kyiv now. This is 4 minutes ago. Okay, Michael Horowitz is still talking about the airport. Okay, so we know where to go for that. That was 4 minutes ago. That battle's still ongoing for the Vasilikov. The other report said Vasilikov. That says Vasilikov. One's Russian, one's Ukrainian, language-wise. For those that are interested in economic news, Russia's invasion of Ukraine triggered a flurry of credit rating moves on Friday. S&P lowering Russia's rating to junk. Moody's putting it on review for a downgrade to junk, and S&P and Fitch swiftly cutting Ukraine on default worries. Those that don't know, I'm a songwriter and a musician as well, and a lyricist. So if you see an occasional music tweet in there and somebody asking me for new music or something, you know that's what's up. Ukraine is winning strategically. There are limits to Russian capabilities. They are reaching them. It will be time to counterattack, not defend. Zelensky just offered Russia the chance to sue for peace before they're destroyed piece by piece. I hope the dude's right. Some profound talk right there. I want to know the only difference between you and a refugee. Luck. Okay, this is from Reuters. Heavy fighting in Kyiv outskirts as Russia, Ukraine signal possibility of talks. Well, that would be either a trap or very positive, depending upon where, when, and who is involved. Let me try to, this is from 59 minutes ago. Let me see if I can get a translation. Come on, I'm trying to translate the tweet. Let's go here 6 minutes ago. There we go. In this video, continuous gunfire can be heard according to Ukraine Pravda. This is the Shevchenko district of Kyiv. So 11:11 p.m. This was 7 minutes ago. I don't know where the video is at, but this is probably the video. And I think this is one we already saw of downtown Kyiv, only this is from a different angle. So yes, there was gunfire going on. All right. Okay. Booster, this is 10 minutes ago. Possibly the booster section of a Smersh multi-launching rocket system. And 43 minutes ago, major disruption, as you can see from here, and then wham. Ukraine's internet backbone, that was an hour ago that this was released. Rob Lee retweeted it 43 minutes ago. So at this time, a massive attack is underway in Ukraine. I imagine most of the people that I normally see footage from, this used to be my road home. Now it's blown up to prevent Russian tanks from entering Kyiv. Marco Rubio. Good girl. Hold on a second. Whoa, hold on a second. I want to read this one first. I read this one while I was. It's almost daylight. I had to jump over here. I know I heard birds that time. Okay. Let's get back to what Marco Rubio is sharing 1 hour ago. Russians invaders are working their way towards the center of Kyiv. Yeah, we've been reporting that. They aren't going to be very happy if when day breaks, they realize they've been cut off and are now trapped by thousands of pissed off Ukrainians. Senator Rubio, I don't know if that's going to be the case, but I appreciate the sentiment. This one is a little more troubling. I wish I could share more, but for now, I can say it's pretty obvious to many that something is off with Putin. He's always been a killer, but his problem now is different and significant. Wish I could say more. That means he knows more. It would be a mistake to assume this Putin would react the same way he would have reacted 5 years ago. Okay, I'm going to read this one more time here. Let's dissect it. First, I wish I could share more. Again, that means he knows more and he wants to tell us. And I imagine 15,900, now 1,594. I imagine a lot of them are going, well, go ahead and tell us. And maybe he will. I wish I could share more, but for now, I can say it's pretty obvious to many that something is off with Putin. All right. This just opens things up for speculation. So let's speculate. Putin has some kind of health problem. Putin has a mental disorder. Putin has a serious health problem, is dying. Putin has a serious mental disorder and is going to go nuclear because he's dying and he don't give a rat's patootie. He's always been a killer, but his problem now is different and significant. He's always been a killer. He's been, that's an understatement. There are the birds again. That's driving me nuts. He's always been a killer. That's an understatement. But his problem now is different and significant. Problem is different. That means that he's beyond just killing. And that would be significant. I think he's dying and he's going to go nuclear because he doesn't care. And that's not just because I've said I believe he's going to go nuclear in the past. This just reinforces what I've been saying. It would have been a mistake to assume this Putin would react the same way he would have 5 years ago. I don't have a contact in the CIA. If I did, I would be messaging them saying, it's time to neutralize Putin, please, for the good of the world. And those that watch this show know that I don't say things like that. And no, I'm not going to follow Ted Cruz, Matt Gaetz, or Lindsey Graham. My old buddy Mike Pence down here. For those that don't know, I ran for Congress against Mike when he was a congressman in the 6th District of Indiana 3 separate times. And in a district with 72% Republican, I got 41% of the vote once. So I do know Mike, and I can reach out through channels to Mike. I've never done that, but I do have channels. I may just never mind. Let me get back down here to see what Marco's saying. I am requesting that the Biden administration preemptively announce that anyone who joins. Okay, we talked about this. I think we talked about this earlier. If there is a Russian installed government in Ukraine, that they be automatically sanctioned, receive a visa ban, and will be subject of an Interpol red notice. And he asked other nations to do the same. He's being a little flippant here. Out of curiosity, does anyone know how many Putin paratroopers a Russian IL-76 usually carries? Asking for a friend. Yeah, I think it's between 120 and 150 max. So, all right. Well, lots going on, lots truly going on. No, I don't support the assassination of foreign leaders. I didn't say assassinate anybody. I said he needs to be neutralized. Doesn't necessarily mean he needs to be killed. Come on. Okay, T-Rex, welcome. Putin and Biden both doing as they're told by Henry Kissinger. Okay, all right, that's a new one. So we've been going now. We're coming up on closing time here. I like to keep it at about 90 minutes for those that watch on the backside. I don't have all the information Marco Rubio has, but I imagine some of the information I've been able to be privy to, but nothing like what he has. So we made Putin the boogeyman. U.S. could not tell the truth. Looks like a fake war. That's, we say this all the time on here. It depends on which side you're on. It depends on how you're looking at things, because one person fighting will be deemed a freedom fighter by some, while will be deemed a terrorist by others. It's a matter of point of view. Hold on a second. I want to get one last look in here before we close things out. It's getting close to daybreak. Okay, this is where I was hearing the birds from. It's getting close to daybreak, and I thank you all for watching. Wow, I did not do that. that stream just went down. Okay, I've got to, I was getting ready to close, but now I've got to see if all the streams okay, I've got a different view of Kyiv. Don't have sound, but as you can see, daylight beginning to pierce the eastern sky. So that cam did not go down. It wasn't a mass thing. But the one we're sharing is off. So the one we've been sharing is still black. We'll do a little summary here and wrap things up as I'm getting close to an hour and a half. I know I can tell by my throat. Okay, we've got a new drone up. Actually, Homer 61 is not a drone. I believe Homer's a manned surveillance aircraft. Let's see, Homer 61. Okay. Homer 61 is flying in surveillance just outside. Okay. It looks like Homer 61 took over the same basic flight path that the plane had. Where the heck is that coming from? Odd. Okay. Back over here to flight tracker. Homer 61 is basically, looks like it's just replaced the other plane. Again, it's U.S. Air Force Boeing RC-135. Now this one's flying at 30,000 instead of 25, but he's pretty close to the same speed, 365 knots. And let's see if the other two are still up. Okay, here's the one we just tracked, Homer 61. LAGR 243 is still surveilling here. So this would give us cause to keep an eye on things as the night rolls along. Is that the one I just had up? Okay, it is. And again, it's flying at 25,000 feet, same kind of stratotanker as the other two. And is this a commercial flight? Yeah. Okay. Heading that direction. So going nowhere near Ukraine. And we'll get one last look at the Ukrainian airspace here. Nothing flying. I want to go out. One more. There we go. Here's our drone. What do we have here? Okay, this one doesn't have a flight plan. Azure Air doesn't have a destination logged. Odd. All right. Hey, thank you all for watching. It's the American Doofus Show. Don't be a doofus. We will be back on tomorrow. Maybe back on this evening. Not this evening, but we'll be back on tomorrow. It may be early in the morning, depending on how things go. So I could be on at 3 a.m. It may be 2 p.m., just depending on developments, because there's no use getting on here and just talking for hours upon hours upon hours and saying the same things over and over again. That's not how we do it. I respect that, JB. This has been a controversial night, and I don't do this in anticipation that everybody's going to agree with everything I say. I just try to, show you things that you're not going to see you're definitely not going to see in mainstream media. For the most part, my sister, if my sisters are watching, hello sisters, any friends watching, hello friends, all family, thank you all for watching, everybody. But my sisters watched and said, I saw you talking about something and you showed something, and then CNN had it the next day. So CNN does show some of the same stuff. MSNBC shows, Fox, they all show some of the stuff, because the best stuff as far as content is coming from Twitter and TikTok. And I understand TikTok might have went down, and they might be banning TikTok for them displaying any videos that has to do with this conflict. But, that's how we do it. We just try to show things. Sounded like State Department propaganda. Nah, man, I'm not part of the State Department, not even close. Closer to open source intelligence, let's put it that way. Got a lot of connections, but I'm a non-government entity, organization, NGO, non-government organization. Get Mike Pence on your panel. I doubt very seriously Mike could come on and talk. I might be able to get his chief of staff, but I figure I've probably got one or two attempts. I'm not going to waste an attempt on contacting Pence unless it's something very worthwhile to do, because you don't want to be a pest. But we were adversaries, but we weren't enemies. We had different political philosophies, but respect for each other. So I know if I reached out, he would probably get back with me. So I don't want to do that frivolously, I guess is the best way to say it. But this may be a time, Rex, you may be right. This may be a time to reach out and say, Mike, would you come on and talk? Because things can turn real fast in this. Sissy, Putin needs to be taken out of power. So do the others that join him. It depends what Marco Rubio knows. If he knows something that's potentially devastating to all mankind, then that's different. Then JB's right. Then JB's right that I'm calling for the assassination of a leader of a foreign country. But I can't say that. I'm not doing that because I don't know what Marco Rubio knows. Thank you all for watching. Hey, that's okay, JB, man. Appreciate you coming in. It's the American Doofus Show. Don't be a doofus. Do like, subscribe, and share the channel. And again, we will be back. So hit the notification bell so you know when it's on. If I know when I'm going to be coming back on, I'll put up a notification with a specific time. If things start breaking and I need to get in, Renegade knows. Did everyone forget about Biden and Ukraine? Actually, we talked a lot about that in the lead up to this. The fact that not only Biden, Hillary Clinton, oh God, I had to campaign with the dude, and I thought he was John Kerry. They've all got ties to Ukraine. Yeah, we talked about all that. Pence is in a bunker somewhere right now. That may be true. That may be true. But yeah, we did talk about that. Renegade knows. I didn't talk about it tonight. I haven't talked about it since the hostilities started. But yeah, we did talk about it in the lead up to this. That potentially could be a factor. You know, we'll see. And I'll tell you what, Renegade knows. I'm going to ask some people if any of this plays into what's going on. All right, we've been on for an hour and 42 minutes here. So I love y'all sincerely. I wish nobody anything other than peace and prosperity, health and success and safety. It's the American Doofus Show. Thank you for watching. Of course, don't be a doofus. It's a dark world. Do try to be a light. I love you all sincerely.